Hello, Three Blue One Brown viewers. My name is Artem. I'm a first year physics and quantum computing student, and I've been working on translating Three Blue One Brown to Ukrainian for the past year or so.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariana and I want to tell you my stories. I have been living in Warsaw for 7 years. I come to Poland from Ukraine to get a second master's degree. After studying I found a job and staying here for now. I'm Ukrainian. I always have been and always will be, no matter where I go. Now I am writing scientific papers related to Ukraine, speaking at conference and continuing my studies.
Hi, my name is Cyril Lemorsky. I'm 20 years old. I study political science in Lille, in France, and I lived in Ukraine for 12 years, where my family still resides.
My name is Dina, and I have moved to Kyiv pretty recently. I moved here in November. So I just moved to the city, found a new job, and decided to live my life here.
On the 24th of February, I woke up to my roommate saying my hometown has been shelled.
On the 24th, I woke up because of explosions. They were pretty loud. I don't know. I don't think I thought in the first seconds that it was war, but I wasn't unsettled. So I just opened my phone, went, I think on Twitter. I think Twitter was the first thing that I opened. And yeah, I saw that the war started. And I mean, like the full scale invasion started.
I remember the 24th of February as a day when I was worried as never before. The very first things that I did was to call my family because I was watching Putin's speech at the time, and then I was receiving thousands of messages about different bombings all over the country. So I wanted to make sure that my family is safe, and thankfully, about an hour later, they finally replied to me and said that everything was okay.
On the 24th of February, like many Ukrainians, I was awakened by a phone call from my mother. This is the scariest thing I have heard from her. My parents were supposed to visit me in Warsaw on the 25th of February for my birthday. We planned a joint vacation. We were worried that due to quarantine we would not be able to send everything we planned to. I remember clearly one phrase. It has begun. It was a very sunny day in Warsaw and I couldn't understand how a war can start on such a nice day.
And the first thing that I did, I called my mom and I woke her up because she lives in another city, and I told her everything. My mom panics a lot, so she was not as good as I was with everything. So we talked, I don't know, for 40 minutes. I got my, like, I don't know. And I think, no, the first thing that I did was, I think it's pretty stupid. I should have done it earlier. But as soon as I woke up, like I wake up, I hear explosions, I go on Twitter, there's a full scale invasion. I get dressed and I start packing my like emergency backpack. I should have done it before. Everyone was talking about it, but I didn't. So that's what I started doing. Like I packed my medicine, I packed some clothes for several days, some food, some water. So and some my documents. So just in case I need to leave my apartment and go somewhere, I packed everything. And only then I called my mom. So that was like my first thing to do, to pack stuff in case I need to leave.
I was calm and collected. My mind was empty. I was collecting documents, my medications, from clothes and such. All of that to the sound of sirens. I wasn't panicking, but I was so stressed I was visibly shaking. Like, for the first time in my life.
And then for the night, I live with two girls. For the night, they like we discussed and we decided that we are gonna go to the metro station to use it as a bomb shelter. So we got our stuff. We like turned the water off in the building. And then we just went there and we had like a night there, like sleeps on the floor and everything. So that's kind of how my first day went.
I took up a role of wartime student coordinator at our university. It's not as intense now, but in the first days it was relaying info to foreign students and um, coordinating people and cleaning out this whole area for a shelter at day and staying on duty at night to wake everyone up in case of an air alarm.
When they began to write me, we began to coordinate who can help in that way, who can go there. Every day, I'm in touch with my friends. I receive requests for what to buy. Then all together we collect necessary items for the list and transfer them across the Polish-Ukrainian border.
Since the full-scale invasion, because the war itself started 8 years ago, I can't keep off my eyes from my phone. I constantly read the news. I always check whether my family and friends are in safe locations or not. I've always been very attached to Ukraine, but since the 24th of February, especially, I understand that I really want to help the country and I want to contribute to its success.
Yeah, I think I was pretty exhausted. So, me personally, I believe that it's a very bad coping mechanism. When I am stressed, I go to sleep. And I had a period in my life where I experienced a lot of stress, and it ended up with me sleeping 16, 17 hours a day. So I would just like be awake for, I don't know, 6 8 hours a day. Other hours I would just sleep because I wanted to like run away from my problems and not experience any negative emotions. And while I sleep, I don't, so I would just sleep anytime I felt bad. And it's not a good coping mechanism. I don't like it. So as soon like as the invasion started here, it kind of became one of the things that I did. I slept a lot. I slept as much as I could during the day, because during the night it was almost impossible. Like the first, I don't know, the first week or so, I slept for 2 hours, then woke up, read the news, slept for 1 more hour, woke up, read the news, like slept for 40 minutes, woke up, read the news. That's how it worked to me, and it wasn't good sleep. It was really exhausting, and those nights didn't really give me good time to relax. So how it would usually work is that I spent like 5 nights at a subway station. So I would go there. Some nights were sleepless at all. Some nights I slept, I don't know, 3 hours. So I would try and sleep there, which didn't work most of the time. And then I would come home and sleep during the day when I could. And usually during the day there were no explosions, so I could do it in a peaceful way. But I think, yeah, I definitely didn't have any productivity issue. I was not productive at all. I didn't work for the first week or something completely. I stopped doing my job. I tried when I went to the subway, I took some books with me, so I tried to read, but again, it wasn't easy for me to concentrate on it. I'd rather go on my phone and read the news. So I read, I don't know, 10 pages maximum and stopped. So I think for me, it was more of a time where I couldn't concentrate on anything because of my anxiety and the fear that I had.
The very first days were very hard. Emotionally speaking, I had to keep up with the news every single minute, and I still do, to be honest, but probably less than in the very beginning. I called my family every day. I sent messages to all of my friends that were still in Ukraine at the time. I needed to make sure that they were okay, that they were doing well, because I didn't know if they were in a safe zone or not, if bombings were happening in their city or not. So the very first days were extremely hard. The current events have drastically changed the lives of all of the Ukrainians and people that are related to Ukraine that I know, directly or indirectly. Some of my friends lost their apartments, their pets. Some of my colleagues lost their families. On a personal note, my family had to leave their own house, and we don't know if one day we'll be able to come back.
My parents stay in Kharkov. My husband's parents stay in Kyiv region. The most expensive that I have today is in Ukraine. My whole life now there. I think that when we win, we will have time to gather together, we will talk a lot, laugh and cry. Now we have only time for action. We are focused on victory, and every day each of us helps bring it closer.
There is not a single person unaffected. Not a single person. Everyone had to wake up at night because of the air alarms. Everyone had to hide in basements, in shelters like these. Almost everyone has at least once felt the shockwave from an explosion going through their body. Actually, this place is about 4 kilometers from the place, the oil base that was hit by 3 Russian missiles, 3 out of 1,400 launched at Ukraine. In the rooms above, there are not only people studying in our university, but also people from Kramatorsk, people who had to leave their homes behind and run from the war. I feel helpless. I'm just a 17-year-old. I have to think about studying. I have to think about meeting new people. I have to think about enjoying my youth. I have to think about experiencing new things. I have to think about transitioning into adult life, but all of that is taken from me. For the past year or so, I was putting enough money so that when I'm 18, I can go to sniper school and be ready to defend my home in case of an escalation. And the escalation came earlier.
Like, there are some things that I want to do after after it's all over, but it's so funny. I read this tweet and I really resonate with it because like the guy said something like this war is still not over, but Ukrainians are already getting ready for the next one. And that's true, because like that's kind of that's what some of my plans are. Like, I'd like to learn how to shoot. I'd still like to learn like the combat medicine stuff. I want to learn how to drive a car because that would be useful as well. So a lot of my plans are related to this experience still, just in case. But other than that, I don't know. I think my biggest plan would be just to visit my family because, again, I'm alone here. My family lives in all around like Ukraine. They live in different cities now. And I just love to spend some time with them after all this stress and everything. I'd love to live, I don't know, for a week at home, then a week at my grandmother's, a week at my sister's place, whatever she lives later. I don't know, because now they don't have a home. So yeah, I think the biggest thing I'd like to accomplish is spend more time with my family because I do miss them, and I hope that I see them later, that everything is fine and I'm able to meet them again later on.
I remember everyone laughing about Russian military buying 45,000 of body bags and bringing mobile crematories to our borders. Everyone thought they were for their own troops. Nobody is laughing anymore because now we know for a fact those were for the civilians. They were not getting ready for lots of casualties of their own. They were getting ready for mass executions. Ukrainians are basically the meat shield of Europe right now. Death is catching up with all of us. Every occupied village, every town is a hellscape. I urge you to pause this video and Google Bucha massacre. Google Irpin, Google Mariupol, Google Kramatorsk train station, Google Hostomel. I urge you to ignore the sensitive content plague and see the photos for yourselves. I urge you to go out of your comfort zone. I urge you to open your eyes, because the comfort zone has been taken from us. There are no sensitive content plagues for us. Sensitive content is just part of our lives now. You do not have to quietly watch this unfold. Donate to Ukrainian foundations. Some links can be found in the description. Share this video with your friends, with people you know. Every dollar counts. Every single person you share information with counts. Show support on social media. Pressure your local governments to send help to Ukraine, including weaponry. Every day under Russian occupation, every day of failed diplomacy and dictatorship appeasement leads to more deaths that can be prevented. And again, every single bit of help makes a difference. What do you want to say to people outside Ukraine who might be watching this?
I think one of the most important things that I would have to say is to be careful with where they get their information from, because I've seen lots of foreigners spreading Russian propaganda. So, and some of them might not even know what they're doing. They believe that it's truth, and they believe that if a reliable source told that to them, some professor, the Washington Post, they believe that it's true. It must be true if like a big news outlet said that, or some smart person said that. But no one is safe from propaganda. Anyone could spread it. So I believe that it's very, very important to stay educated now. And that's what we need people to do. Like most foreigners didn't even know that like the war didn't start on the 24th. They thought that it was the beginning. They didn't know that it has been going on for 8 years. And if they turn to, I don't know, Google or to any source for information, they might find some stuff saying that Ukraine was bombing Donbass, or Ukraine was attacking like Ukrainians that speak Russian. So even if they want to get educated on this topic, they might meet fakes, and they have to be very careful with what news they trust. Sometimes they do want to help, but they listen to wrong people. So I truly hope that people can choose who they should trust, and they turn to Ukrainian media. We have like Svidomi that posts in English. We have the Kyiv Independent. You should really turn to their help instead of yeah, I don't want to drop names. I'm being really shady. I don't want to drop names of bad news outlets. But yeah, so trust Ukrainian media and spend some time doing research. And I think a very useful thing would be to learn about Ukrainian history in general and understand again that this has not been going on for 8 years only. Like the history between Ukraine and Russia is not 8 years old. It's been going on forever. So I think that it's another very, very, very important thing to understand about this brotherly nations. We need to get this stuff out of their heads as well, because they hear it from Russians, they repeat it, and that's a bad thing. So I truly believe in like education and getting people to learn from their mistakes and like from mistakes of others. So I hope everyone takes their time to read up and to understand what's actually going on and what has been going on all these years here in Ukraine.